Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, the Two Opinionated podcast could really use your help. And it's easy, it's free. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, named us a top 100 podcast. We came in at number 82. That's a big deal because there's 15 million podcasts and growing. So to be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty big deal for us. And the way you can help is to go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just bringing our page up. That traffic really helps us out. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. It's also free, but that really helps us to attract these amazing guests that we keep bringing on the program. And that's it. Two easy ways for you to support us, and we would really appreciate the help. Now let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got actress, model Patricia Velásquez with me. So welcome, Patricia.
Hi, Michael. So nice to finally talk to you.
I know we've been kind of trying to arrange this for a little while
Yes,
now,
for a
and you've
little
been very
while.
good. You've been very you've hung in there with me, and we
Well,
made it.
we made it. You see, that just tells you how when you believe in something, you
That's
have to
right.
have certainty, and you know that if you do it for the right reason, it doesn't mean you know the outcome, but when you have certainty, it just tells you the reason why you're there, and hopefully, most of the time, the outcome is the right one.
That's right. Well, so Patricia, let's start this way. I know you started out as a model and got into acting not too long after that, but talk a little bit about that. What got you into modeling, and how did that transition to acting, come about?
Yeah, Michael, I started as a model when I was just turned 18 years old. It's going to be 30 something years, May 1st.
Oh
Uh,
wow,
yeah,
yeah,
eh,
it
yeah,
goes by so fast.
so fast. Yeah, I mean, so fast and yet not. But when you look back, I think it's so important sometimes to stop and look at what it represents. There's some special days that give you that time for reflection, and definitely May 1st is it's in our country is Workers' Day. So it was what a meaning, no symbolism that it was the same day. So, but I grew up. We were in Venezuela. Things were a little bit challenging there. I there was we had no water. The elevators didn't work so much, so we had to carry the buckets of water upstairs, 15th floor, and that just put
15
a seed.
floors.
15th floor sometimes, yeah, and that just put it. I think that's when my certainty was born.
Yeah.
That's when I thought I need to help my family. And an opportunity presented itself for me to go and work as a model in Milan. In those times, we had no internet. We didn't know if I
Right.
was going to end up in some human trafficking
Yeah, that's
thing.
right. That's right. Yeah,
But
we were very kind of blissfully ignorant back then.
yes, 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 weren't we? So anyway, I ended up, it was a legit agency. I ended up moving to Milan, then I went to Spain, then Japan, then France. And that's when my career really took off. Karl Lagerfeld noticed me, and then I became a supermodel. And eventually I moved to New York. And I was in New York for many, many years, and now I'm in Los Angeles. And the transition into acting, um, I grew up in the dance theater. Uh,
Yeah.
and when I was just in kind of in the peak of my career as a model, I received a call for a project that was going to be done in the jungle with Jean Reno and Danny Trejo.
Very
He
nice.
was stepping in, and I've never done a movie, but I grew up in the theater.
Yeah.
So I said no. I actually said no because I said no, I know I need to train but then my agent said, "Look, you have always made such a fuss about being indigenous and want to help your community, and this is the biggest French film ever made, and it's about saving an indigenous community."
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I took a look at the script. They said, "Just go meet with the director." Long story, they offered me the part, and I had a couple months to work, and then I ended up in the Amazon with Jean and Danny Trejo, and fell in love with the experience of acting.
Yeah.
That was it. So I came back to New York. I started studying, and I still study up until today. The rest of history. I'm still here.
That's amazing. Yeah, you never stop learning.
Never, never. It's really our career and our craft is one of those that it's really like going to the gym. You can go more and more, and then if you don't practice, you get a little stiff. But
That's
then you
right.
go back in, but you never really stop, and it's amazing. Actually, it's amazing.
Well, yeah, once you're into acting, you can pretty much do it until you just decide not to do it.
Yes, that's what's really great about our craft. That is,
Yeah.
it's really something that we can do uh, always. I like being in the industry, Michael, really for the work and the love of what
Yeah.
we do. The issue is it is definitely, and I'm sure you heard this from other guests. It is definitely a challenging industry. You shoot movies like The Mummies that are hits, and then Mindhunters is a hit. Then years go by before you. But I think as an actor, all you want to do is keep working.
That's
It
right.
doesn't matter what type of films you do. For me, it took quite a few years before Curse of La Llorona came out. That was number
Yeah.
one
Yeah. Yeah.
worldwide as well. That was just a few years ago. So you just never know. So you try to keep staying grounded in your certainty and in the industry because you love what you do and try not to take too much, put too much pressure on it. But it's hard because you obviously we all have to pay our
Yeah,
bills,
it's
right?
difficult.
Yeah.
And you go through and the acting's one of those, it's almost like contract work because you go through those
Yes.
kind of shallow periods where you're just
Yes.
waiting.
It is. It is. It is 100% like a contract work.
Yeah.
And then, I think it happens to all of us that you get a job and then you go, okay, yeah, no more. I don't have to audition anymore. I don't, but believe me, it doesn't matter at what level you're at. Everyone still fight for the parts. Doesn't matter what level you are. But it is great. And let me tell you, going to these conventions has been a wonderful, such a wonderful discovery for me because I will do it for free. I
Oh,
would
they're the best.
It is such a wonderful community. There you really see how the work that you do it's affects people in such a positive way. And I say to people, look, what you're doing, coming here, you always say that thank you for taking the time to come and talk to your fans. No, it's the other way around. Thank you because you have no idea how much that empowers you, how much that uplifts you, uplift you. It makes you feel seen, it makes you feel heard, it makes you feel that what you're doing is worth it.
Well, and 99% of the people you run into at conventions, terrific. You know,
Yeah,
they don't get upset when they have to wait in line because they know everybody's going to get their
yeah,
moment.
yeah,
And they're so polite. I think that, you
everyone.
run into some knuckleheads, but for the most part, terrific.
Yeah, it's rare. It's rare
Yeah.
that most of the time is very, very rare. Most of the time it's just people like you and I. It's just, so it really makes such a big difference. So thank you.
Well, yeah, I'm so glad that you're doing those now. They're so fun. It,
Yes, they
it's
are
I mean tiring, because you're there
very.
interacting all weekend. It's exhausting, but it's a good exhaustion.
It's a good exhaustion, but you really do feel tired on Monday. Yesterday, I had a ton of work and um, oops, I don't know when this is coming out, but I might have just giving
No,
away.
no, no. Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, so
Uh,
you were probably
so
yesterday was kind of a rest day.
yes, well, it wasn't because you're working, but normally Mondays when you do the conventions is it's 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 hard.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
you're
back again.
you're recovering a little bit. I just rewatched Arrested Development.
Oh,
Love Marta.
love Marta.
I knew I loved Marta, but I had forgotten how much I love Marta.
Oh,
It's such a good character on there.
it
And that
really
show
is.
hilarious.
Well, the show is fabulous. I mean, that show was totally ahead of its time.
Yeah.
And it was a struggle because the show kept getting all the awards, but it was hard to keep it on the air. But
I
it's
know it's so it didn't initially get the love that it deserved.
yeah, but it's amazing how it is such a group and community of
Yeah.
people that like Arrested Development, and and it's I love doing. You know, when they called me to do Martha, I was already committed to do another show. I had to go to Mexico to shoot with Gregory Nava, who did Selena in Mi
Oh,
Familia. We're
yeah.
doing a wonderful, wonderful PBS series called American Family that also got a
Oh, I've
bunch of.
seen American Family. It had Edward James Olmos in it.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So I was invited to do a couple of episodes on the first season, and then the second season, Gregory loved the work so much that he made me one of the leads.
Yeah.
So I was already committed to go in to do that show. So we told Arrested Development we can only do this amount of episodes.
Right.
But when I left, uh, I was, damn, I wish you could have done more
Yeah,
because I love
you
the
could probably
craft.
tell that was a good show.
It was so good. Liza Minnelli and I shared the trailers because they were what they call double bangers. So it's two people per trailer. They're
Oh,
divided in
okay.
half.
Yeah.
So the stories of that show, the people, and it was funny and it was different and it was
Did you and Liza like hang out in between sets?
did
Yeah, yeah.
a ton because we would sit outside in the little stairs on the trailer. So we
Amazing.
just, yeah, we hang a ton. It was wonderful, really wonderful. She's such a character.
Yeah.
Everyone who's in the series is a character,
That's
actually.
kind of true. It's like we took all of our character, kind of unique actors and put them all in one show.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, totally, totally true. So blessed. What a blessing.
Oh yeah.
Blessing, really. Jason, what a professional, serious, dedicated guy he
Yeah.
is.
When it was so at that time, it was so nice seeing him get back kind of into
Yes.
to acting. Not that he had stopped, but he hadn't been in anything real big for a little while, and we missed him. He's such a good actor.
Incredible. He really is such an extraordinary actor. I'm so happy for the career that he's had. And yeah, it's an
Yeah,
honor.
it's pretty good. Have you enjoyed Brendan's kind of comeback the
Oh,
last few
I had to
years?
tell you that's one of the things I love so much that Brendan is working and that he has had a comeback, how he deserves it. I mean, my memories from Brendan are spectacular. He was the life of the set, kind, loving, giving, never threatening. He really got along with my mom when we were
Really?
living in the UK. Yeah, because I brought her for a year, sorry, for a month. And yeah, he was very, very, just very deep conversations, kind. And I'm so happy. I am so happy that Brendan is doing this because that he has gotten an opportunity. He deserves it and he gives hope to other people.
Yeah,
You know, it tells you it can give hope to me, it can give hope to you, it can give hope to anyone to know that sometimes things can get challenging, but you should stay in your certainty and you have to know that you're not, first of all, that you're not alone, we are seen, that we have that power. Because I believe that when we have that certainty, we are ready because that certainty fuels that courage and that courage that leads us to action, and that action gives us the wisdom and that wisdom brings us to that change and we have to ask, and I'm going to deviate a little bit from what you're saying, if we are ready. Of course we are ready because when we change and when we believe everything around us, you can see that everything starts changing.
you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. That's usually when we as people get in trouble is when we get stuck.
Yeah.
We don't or we fight against the change.
Yeah, because look, the truth is life is always going to bring challenges.
Yeah.
There are going to be many moments of fear. There are going to be, a ton of unexpected obstacles.
Yes.
But I think, and this is something we talking about, Brendan, the difference between staying stuck and how we rise above is how we choose to respond. Because we're
Yeah.
at the end, we're not going to change other people. We can't keep blaming others for
Right.
who we are, because that real change starts within. And sometimes that very situation that is making us uncomfortable is the universe that is pushing us, to grow, and that is guiding us to where we are really truly meant to be.
I 100% believe that. I think the universe tends to put you on the right path. We just tend not to initially accept it.
Yes.
We'll fight against it. And if we just kind of lean into the change, like every time in my life that I've had a major change, where it's a health issue, something work related, a family member, whatever it is, it always seems just like the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And it has every time has turned out for the best.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. So, for you who everybody or you that are listening, that's listening to us, I would like to ask you in this moment, what is that first bold step that you can take? Or is there someone that you can lift up? Because that change is not something that happens. It's something that we create. So if you know that you and I are looking at you and telling you that you are not alone, that you are seen, that you are very powerful, and the world is out there waiting for what only you can bring.
I'm feeling motivated, and I wasn't expecting that today.
Yes. Well, you're giving us a platform to relate a message, and this is
That's right.
such a great show that you have. So if you're listening and you can at least feel a little bit empowered by our conversation, then that means I'm doing the job.
Yeah, I think you're doing the job. Now, just as fans, it's great to see Brendan doing well. We love him, and he's so talented
So
with
talented.
that. And it is inspiring to see somebody that went through a difficult period and didn't just give up or retire. He came back, and it's been terrific. And I think watching him and seeing the emotion, he feels it too. And
Yes.
it was almost like at those award ceremonies. It's like we're there with him,
Yes.
because of the emotion that we're seeing.
Yeah, because you see, the truth is that um, when you take actions, it doesn't mean you know the outcome,
That's right.
right? The outcome can give a whatever, but if we reconnect with our purpose and our values and the actions that we take, that we can definitely move through those situations because we don't know the outcome. So we move through those situations with clarity and we move with courage. So then what happens is that we create a sense of purpose that is going to bring fulfillment because we are going to start seeing what happens is that we start seeing those challenges as opportunities for growth.
That's right.
And then we find that resilience when things get challenging to take and continue taking those meaningful steps towards our goal. And at the end, it doesn't matter what the outcome is. We are going to feel more confident. We're going to feel more authentic, and we are going to start leading with intention. And this is what happened to Brendan. He stood, he kept his work, he extraordinary family man, and he got that opportunity again. And I think everyone in the world feels happy for Brendan because he represents us. He represents what it's like to have the dream, to be living your dream, to be put down for whatever reason, and then keep going in the work and getting a second chance. And that's what we all want.
Amazing. Yeah, it's exactly right. Exactly right. And I'm so glad that he got that chance. All of us deserve a second chance.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
Whether you're bad or good, everyone does.
The Mummy holds up very well. I That was the reason I had contacted you, because I was on an overnight flight and watched watched the first two on the flight, and I'm like, I need to send a note and see if we It
Yeah,
holds up. I hadn't seen it in years, but yeah, still a really good movie.
it really is incredible how that movie just not only holds up, but it's a movie that it changed our lives, all of us,
Yeah.
all of us, because I mean, here you are walking into a set where there are pyramids being built and you're speaking ancient Egyptian body paint that takes 10 hours, and you ask yourself why this movie did so well, really, why this movie still keeps everyone entertained. It's become an icon to families.
It has.
I think everyone had such a great job doing the film. Everybody felt seen. Everybody felt like you were doing the job and you were being heard. And I think that energy just kind of transferred to the film. There is fun. It is funny. It is adventurous. It is mysterious. It is a little bit scary. It
Yes.
is got stunts. And it's based on values. Again, it's based on values. Now, I have to tell you, people ask me this sometimes, Michael. I betray Imhotep at the end, but I don't think I betrayed him. I just think deep inside, I thought we were going to do another mummy after. So I was going to be able to bring him back. So that gave me permission.
I
That's just
like
like,
that.
to say, okay, let me take care of myself because I'm going to come back for you.
See, that makes sense. That actually makes me like it more because that always kind of bothered me just a touch.
Yeah.
That, I was like, I don't know, because they had such a love,
They
obviously.
did. Yeah. Yeah. No, I really do. This is what gave me permission, but we just never got to do it. So, oh
Yeah,
well.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
pretty good. Well, I know we're kind of short on time, but there's a few I just wanted to throw out there that I love, Jen. Rescue Me was terrific. You had a couple episodes there. That show, amazing.
That's
Loved
a
you.
great show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good. You did a Beowulf movie with Christopher
Oh
Lambert
my
that
gosh.
it's
Yeah.
so long ago, but I always get a kick out of that because I always enjoyed his movies. And
Yeah.
there
That
you
was
go.
we shot it. I don't even remember. It was so short. It
Yeah.
was just my beginning. But yeah, everything is important. But we shot that in Romania, in
Oh,
Russia.
really?
Yeah, and it was super cold. The one thing I remember, I can tell you from that film, is that I had to run down a hill, and it was so cold. I tripped and hurt myself with a piece of metal that went into my
Oh,
skin.
yeah.
It was so cold, I didn't feel a thing. And
Romania's
I
pretty
still
cold.
have the scar there. It was deep. It was no joke. But yeah, yeah, that's
That's
just,
pretty good. That's pretty good. And then the last one I wanted to mention was List of Lifetime. We had Kelly and Jane both have been
no
on
kidding.
the program. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I like
And so
it.
so I had watched it. I think maybe it was Jane that was coming on when I watched it, and you were on there too. So yeah, that was a really good.
Yeah, that film, and that film was such a special film. I became very good friends with Kelly. We are very close
Love Kelly.
because of that film. And it was a small film that the director wrote to us because of Kelly being on the Scorpio King and myself, because she was a big fan. And we just said, why not? It's got a really wonderful message about breast cancer prevention,
Yeah.
and it's a really uplifting story. And um, so we just, yeah, and little did we know that film was going to get all these awards. I mean, we were nominated for the Critics' Choice Awards. I
It was a
mean,
good film.
the film did the film stands, and yeah, the film did really well. And of course, we miss Shannon. Um,
Yes.
yeah, but
Awful.
and she did a PSA that she directed that I love. I post it all the time, and
I've seen that.
four of us are in it. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up. It's
Yeah.
a really
Yeah.
sweet piece, Michael.
Yeah,
Really.
it's a really great movie. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Are you still doing your foundation?
Yes, the foundation it has definitely taken quite a bit of my time right now. I'm doing uh the foundation. Obviously, I do my work as an actor. I'm doing these conventions. I'm also doing some keynote speaking, which
I know
because
you're
I
so
always end up
busy.
speaking, they always invite me to speak. So I've been going on the road a little bit with Keynote as well. And the foundation has kind of taken over as well because we are the conduit of sending aid to Venezuela. So we've helped over 1 million people. We have
Amazing.
sustained programs, water distribution last year, more than 40,000 people.
Well, and I know the water distribution is close to your heart. So,
Yes, for sure, because of the water. So it's really wonderful to see these different organizations around the world that rally and want to help other people. And when you think about it, it's really nature, the humanity. It's so beautiful to see how people get together to help others that they might never meet.
that's right.
And I
Yeah.
know that your show goes worldwide, but I have to tell you that living in the United States is such a wonderful, I mean, I've been here for so many years. But we are good people. We are good people. So on that note, I'd like to use this opportunity to tell you if there's something that is holding you back and that you can't quite name it, but you know that is there and that is keeping you from your potential, please know that I know that feeling because I lived it. And and when you have that certainty that you can find, which is that belief, that inner knowing of something that pushes you forward, then that is going to silence your doubts and it's going to give you the strength to move forward. And know that just we're here, that you have a community, that you're not alone, and that transformation, even though it's not going to happen overnight, if you embrace it and you keep believing in your dreams, trust me, and you keep going for your purpose, you are absolutely unstoppable.
I love that. I totally believe that. It's amazing what people can accomplish when their basic needs are met.
Yes, yes.
Everybody should be able to not worry about food, water, housing, but you get those covered, and it gives people that chance to
Yeah.
grow and to be creative.
Yeah, and sometimes, we try to depend so much on the big institutions to take care of us. But if there's one thing that you learn when you come from our countries, is that you have to create the change and you have to create the things yourself. And I think by living in gratitude, and I'm just Michael, I'm just so grateful that we are in a position that we can help the foundation and we can help people in my country. So, well, the help goes to all Latin America, but in this case, is food, medical attention, education, and sustainability. Because at some
Good for
point,
you for starting that. What's the name of it?
it's called Wayúu Tayá, Wayúu Foundation.
I'm very happy with. I normally struggle, and my wife's father was Mexican, so she's part Mexican, and she's fluent, so I should be, but I'm not. But I had written down how to say that, and that I would have had it right. I should have went ahead and tried it.
Oh, well, but I have to tell you that it's pretty much 99% can't pronounce it correctly. So don't worry because
I would
it's,
have sounded bad, but I wrote down Y
huh?
U and then
Okay,
Tie, yeah.
perfect.
I had it.
You had it.
I should have trusted
Oh,
myself.
you know what? I speak too much. I didn't let you say it.
I should have trusted myself. Well, Patricia, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time. It means so much to me. I've been a fan of yours, 30 years, uh,
Amazing.
and you're terrific. You're
Oh,
just terrific, and I love the acting's terrific, but I think all the stuff you do outside of acting is just unbelievable. Good.
thank you, Michael. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to come in your fantastic show.
Thank you
And
so much for saying
I
that. I appreciate that.
And thank you to all of you that are listening or watching. We'll send you a big, big hug from here, from Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Mwah.
All right, Patricia, hold on one second. Loved the chance to speak with Patricia. She's a very talented actress, beautiful model, obviously. But I think the work she's doing outside of all of that is so important and good for her for paying it forward, and she's successful. She could kind of just sit on that, enjoy her life, and she does. But she helps so many people, and you can tell she's so positive. Absolutely love that. And I liked the conversation around change. When we got to the point where the podcast was doing well enough that I had to make a decision. I was working in our local hospital system, but the podcast was taking up more and more of my time, and it was starting to generate an income, and I had to make that decision. And I held off for a little while. Eventually, it's been about a year and a half now that I've been officially retired and am doing the podcast full time. And best decision I ever made. Should have made that call sooner. We've been doing this podcast about 6.5 years. A couple years ago, I probably should have made that call, but absolutely agree with everything she said about change and having the courage to actually make those positive change. We didn't get a chance to speak about her book, but it's excellent. Straight Walk: A Supermodel's Journey to Finding the Truth. It's about a decade old, but holds up pretty well. And if you're a fan of Patricia's, it gives you so much insight into everything she overcame, what she dealt with growing up as a model, and then transitioning to acting. Just terrific. So definitely, if you haven't checked that one out, take a look. She did a movie called Maya with Rumor Willis that I thought was really, really, really good. Really enjoyed that one. She had a run on the L Word that I thought she was really good in, and then she's been on a lot of shows in the last several years. Hawaii Five-0, Ugly Betty, CSI Miami, for a few. I briefly mentioned Rescue Me. Rescue Me is such a great show. Absolutely love that. She played Nez, I think is how you said that, Nez, I think, for a couple of episodes. Talked about American Family. She's done a lot of videos, music videos. Red Hot Chili Peppers. That was on my wife's bucket list of groups to go see, and we got to see them twice last year, and they're just terrific. Absolutely terrific. But she did a video for them. She's done videos with Rod Stewart, George Michael. She was one of the contestants on the 12th season of The Apprentice, which I watched, but I guess I've kind of forgotten that. But I may have to go back and check that out. So it's a really, really terrific. If you're finding us for the first time, I'm so happy that you're here. Part of the reason that I love doing this is I get to talk to the best people. I would put our guest list up against any other podcast, talk show, anybody. I love the people that we have gotten to talk to. We're going to hit episode 1000 probably late June, early July. That's for a podcast. That's a big deal. We're so excited about that. We've just been blessed with the guests we've had. So if you're new to us, we have so much content, and I guarantee there's a ton of people out there that you will really love. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost you a dime. Really helps us out. MeisterCon Pod on YouTube. Our website is meistercon.com. You can find, right now it's about 950 episodes, audio and video versions. If we're doing something in studio, if we're going on location, if we're covering a convention, maybe going to see Patricia at a convention, all of that will be on the website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there as well. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody.